former New England Patriots player Aaron Hernandez was found dead in his jail cell. We have this details coming up.
Also, we sat down with members of the Black Mountain Institute about a new magazine they can call their own. We have all this and more. You're watching Studio G.
Good afternoon, Rebels, and welcome to Studio G. I'm Jessica Vargas.
And I'm Jamie Poole.
We start today with some breaking news. NFL star Aaron Hernandez was found dead in his prison cell this morning. The former New England Patriot was convicted of murder and had been serving a life sentence for the murder of Odin Lloyd in 2013. It is just days after being acquitted in a different murder case. In this case, he had been charged with killing 2 men in a drive-by shooting outside of a Boston nightclub. Reporters across the nation are expressing their shock with how Hernandez was found.
Now, officers say Hernandez hung himself with a bedsheet actually attached to the windowsill in a single-unit cell in the prison's general population. Hernandez reportedly tried to block the door so corrections officers could not enter the cell. They did, of course.
According to the Massachusetts Department of Correction, life-saving techniques were attempted on Hernandez. He was then transported to UMass Leominster, where he was pronounced dead at 4:07 a.m. Sheriff Thomas Hodgson spoke on the aftermath of Hernandez's death.
It was a bit of a shocker for me. I've always known Aaron Hernandez to be somebody who was in complete control, made sure that whatever he didn't want to entertain, he was very good at keeping it out. He had really a metal trap for a mind when it came to those types of things.
Sheriff Tom Hodgson says for the most part, Hernandez did not have many problems, once, however, getting in a fight with another inmate. And what could potentially have driven him to take his own life, as it seems he did, 5 days after a not guilty verdict in the Boston double murder.
Perhaps the thing that maybe contributed to the outcome today was maybe the verdict that came down from the jury. That it was something that perhaps he didn't expect, that there were people who had actually found him not guilty of something he was accused of. Maybe he believed he did or didn't do, who knows.
Hernandez died at the age of 27 years old. Family and members and friends are demanding an investigation as they do not believe that this is a suicide.
Last month, the state of Arkansas announced their decision to execute 8 death row inmates over the course of 11 days. This is a schedule that is unmatched in modern American history. Capital punishment has been suspended in Arkansas since 2005, but with its supply of lethal injection drug midazolam expiring on May 1st, Arkansas lawmakers have pushed for a rush in executions. The plan has been a topic of discussion in the small town of Grady, where the prison is located.
Really a big deal, to the community. I mean, people, everything the government's going to do what the government wants to do.
An eye for an eye. I'll put it like that.
Protesters met outside the governor's mansion to express opposition to the plan. They weren't the only ones who disapproved, as the Arkansas Supreme Court rejected the plan just a few hours before the initial injection was set to occur. Governor Asa Hutchinson released this statement expressing his frustration with the judicial system. Arkansas now plans to execute 5 of the inmates over an 8-day period.
Yesterday, President Trump signed an executive order to make it more difficult to hire employees from outside the U.S. and buy and make products outside the country. The order, entitled Buy American Hire American, is meant to fulfill Trump's campaign promises of putting Americans back to work and sway corporations from using outsourced labor and goods.
The Buy and Hire American order I'm about to sign will help protect workers and students like those of you in the audience today. This historic action declares that the policy of our government is to aggressively promote and use American-made goods and to ensure that American labor is hired to do the job. It's America first. You better believe it.
The Hire American portion is directed at federal agencies to become much stricter on H-1 B visa laws. This is a program intended to spring skilled workers for the U.S. for particular fields, but the Trump administration believes that this is being abused by employers that are seeking out cheaper employment than American workers. The executive order does not
offered to American workers first. Right now, widespread abuse in our immigration system is allowing American workers of all backgrounds to be replaced by workers brought in from other countries to fill the same job for sometimes less pay. This will stop.
This executive order does not immediately change the way corporations buy or hire, but rather initiate appropriate reviews and assessments for businesses. It is the beginning of reformation in this area.
In lighter news, another 2 students have been accepted to all 8 Ivy League schools. 17-year-old Ifeoma White-Thorpe from Rockaway, New Jersey, was accepted into the Elite 8 as well as Stanford University. White-Thorpe was solely focused on Harvard, the first school she got a letter from where she already got an early action. That is until she received letters from the 7 other elite schools.
I got into Harvard early action, so then I was like, oh, I'll just go there at first. But then I got into all the others and I was like, wait, now I don't know where I want to go. I was shaking. I was like, oh my gosh, like this. And I was like, this might be 8 out of 8. And I clicked it and it said, congratulations. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then I was like, what did I say?
White-Thorpe is not the only brilliant teen to achieve this amazing, featuring Martin Altenberg, a senior in Fargo, North Dakota, received acceptance from all 8 as well as Stanford and MIT.
To just apply to as many schools as possible, see how I would do, because back then, I didn't really know where I'd get in and where I wouldn't get in. Yale was the last letter I opened. And I was like, okay, if I get into this, I've gotten into all 8 Ivy Leagues.
Both teens have yet to make a decision on which school they will attend in the fall.
Before we move on, we want you to look at some amazing footage taken from the International Space Station. NASA provided this magnificent footage you see here. It was taken by crew member Thomas Pasquet. He captured these glowing auroras last week. He said it was hard to look away from the windows because of just how beautiful they are. Auroras are caused when electrically charged particles released from the sun enter the Earth's atmosphere and collide with gases like oxygen and nitrogen. This results in a natural light show around the world in the southern and northern hemisphere. Pasquet said that the view recently around the world at night has been simply amazing, with just a few clouds and very intense auroras.
Coming up, we take a look at what's going on around the valley. We'll be right back.
Sunday evening jazz. I mainly play a lot of contemporary jazz music from the 1960s up until about 2012, 2013. When I go on, just explain who it was, the name of the song, the name of the artist, maybe the name of the album, their career. I just hope that everybody enjoys it and appreciate it for the kind of music it is and how great it is. My name is Sam, and I host Sunday Evening Jazz on the rebelhd2.com.
Low.
This is your girl, Scribe Cash.
My name's Fabian Stefan.
Perpetual Player One.
And I'm your host, Brandy the Prince Madison.
My name is Haley Rogers.
From the Miles Low Midweek Show.
Your Scribe Cash radio show.
You can listen to Pixel Jam.
Press start to play.
And this is the Takeover.
Rock on Rebel.
On KUNV-HD2.
From the rebelhd2.com.
Our Studio G, at first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing, you get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
Welcome back to Studio G. Let's take a look at some of the biggest headlines in the Valley. 3 people were accused of installing credit card skimmers at gas stations to steal customers' personal information. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department arrested Osniel Tumbaral, Ruben Rivera, and Alien Bana Garcia on Thursday. They are jailed at the Clark County Detention Center. According to police reports, the 3 were accused of using U-Haul vans and other vehicles to block people from seeing them as they tampered with gas pumps and installed the skimming devices on the pumps. According to jail records, Rivera and Tumbaral faced 2 counts each of establishing or possessing a financial forgery lab and conspiring to commit a non-felony crime. Bana Garcia faces 1 count of conspiracy to commit a non-felony crime and establishing or possessing a financial forgery lab.
A city council committee on Monday discussed proposed changes on medical marijuana regulations. According to the Review Journal, these changes would lengthen the hours of operation, remove product limitations, modify disposal requirements, and change dispensary fees. These changes will go to May 17 council meeting for possible vote.
The federal government plans to release an above-average amount of Colorado River water into Lake Mead this year. The Bureau of Reclamation said Monday that it will release 9 million acre-feet from Lake Powell. The water will go down to the Colorado River and into Lake Mead, where it will be accessible to Arizona, California, and Nevada residents. Though this sounds like a lot, it's less than many hoped for after a healthy snow season across the West Coast.
The Assembly backed legislation that would extend the statute of limitations for victims of child sexual abuse to sue their abuser. Assembly members voted 38-0 on the bill on Monday. The bill extended the statute of limitations from 10 years to 20 years. The clock would start after a victim turns 18 or discovers an injury that was caused by the abuse, whichever comes later.
A sharp-toothed fish found in one of Boulder City's Veterans Memorial Park ponds appears to be a piranha. According to the Review Journal, Nevada wildlife officials hope that the carcass represents an isolated case. If the carcass is confirmed to be a piranha, it would mean that someone illegally possessed and released the fish into one of the ponds. According to a witness, it is possible that more than one piranha was let loose.
The world's biggest virtual band will be coming to Las Vegas. The Gorillaz is the first band to be announced for this year's Life is Beautiful festival. The festival will take place September 22 to 24 in downtown Las Vegas.
NASA says snowpack in our neighboring Tuolumne River Basin, California's Sierra Nevada Basin, is larger than the last 4 years combined. The state is in severe drought during those past 4 years. The basin is a major source of water for San Francisco and California's Central Valley. NASA's Airborne Snow Observatory measured the basin's snowpack on April 1st at 1.2 million acre-feet. NASA says that's enough snow to fill up Pasadena's Rose Bowl nearly 1,600 times. A California water official said the data will give critical guidance for water managers as they enter the peak melt season later this spring. The drought out here in the West isn't over yet, but the Sierra Nevada has done a lot in snow coverage with helping the issue both in California and here at home.
All right, so we're going to be listening to Timey a little bit about the weather. You know, we have been having this so much wind.
It has been a lot of wind still.
And
but it is beautiful outside, nice and sunny, so hopefully that continues.
We're like around the 80s, so that's always nice, right? Now let's take a look at our weather with Timey.
Hi ladies, thank you so much. My name is Taimi and welcome to your weather segment. And I can tell you that it's not going to be as windy as it was yesterday and the day before. Right now we have beautiful weather, 73 degrees as our weather right now, the high 84 and the low 61. Let's take a look at the picture of the day. Unfortunately, it was reported that 30 people were dead due to floods in Iran. Officials are saying that this number could change since many people are missing. So unfortunately, we wish them the best and hopefully they can find everyone. alive. And let's take a look here in the valley, the rest of the valley. We have the 5 days forecast. We have beautiful weather in the 80s. Now this Sunday is gonna go up, it's gonna increase to the 90s, but it's gonna be mostly sunny, it's gonna be beautiful. Here in the valley, beautiful weather, like I said, in the 80s. Lowers Centennial and Summerlin 79, and the highest right now is in Southern Highlands 83. Here at UNLV 73, mostly sunny. Now wind speed 6 miles per hour, like I was saying, not many. It's not going to be as much as we were expecting or we had these past days. Humidity is 23%. Now tonight, 63 is going to be the highest tonight. The wind speed 9 miles per hour, so it's not going to be that bad. Let's take a look at the rest of the country right now. East Coast is looking beautiful. A lot of rain, but no snow as of yet. Miami 83 degrees. Here in the West Coast in Los Angeles 72 degrees, Salt Lake City 62, and here in Las Vegas, like I said, in Nevada, we're going to be in the 80s, so it's going to be great. This is it for your weather segment. Let's go take a break, but do not leave because we have many more information.
You don't get to do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for journalism majors. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
This is a nutrition center. Anyone from the Las Vegas community is welcome. We can get more people into the nutrition center, get them more educated, then they can learn what ways to prevent chronic diseases and to become healthier individuals. All classes are held in BHS building, Bigelow Health Sciences, room 212, and the times vary, but you could always check them at the UNLV calendar or UNLV Today, and all the classes, times, and descriptions are available there.
My goal is to be an on-air personality, and that's what my career is. It feels really incredible because I've been wanting to do something like this for my whole entire life since I was little.
I mean, it's an opportunity to express myself, get my voice out in public, and get heard for things that I feel strongly about.
This station helped me out a lot, gave me a lot of information I didn't know about a radio station in general.
It was really easy to get a show here. I took the classes and did the shadowing. They give you a lot of freedom to do what you like, and I feel like there's a lot of support in places you can get answers to.
It's just an incredible experience because I could take what I learned here and I could turn it into something more.
Welcome back to Studio G. Let's take a look at what's going on at UNLV. What have you got for us, Alyssa?
Good afternoon, Rebels. I'm Alyssa Truesdale and have all your campus news for today. The CSUN general elections begin today. Students will have the chance to choose the student body president, vice president, and senate president. These positions have 2 candidates each. The tickets on this year's ballot include House of Rebels and #TeamNoSleep. Running for student body president are Fabian Donate from House of Rebels and Christopher Royce from #TeamNoSleep. For student body vice president are Taylor Hull from House of Rebels and Beatrice Devlin from #TeamNoSleep. For Senate President are Riley Taylor from House of Rebels and Taryn Cole from #TeamNoSleep. Online voting opened today at 9 a.m. and will close on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. and can be accessed through the Involvement Center. A physical polling location will be available inside the Student Union and will be open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. today and tomorrow. Those who choose to vote in person will need their Rebel card. The Westboro Baptist Church may be making an appearance on campus tomorrow. The controversial church plans on visiting UNLV between 8:30 and 9 a.m. and will be in the free speech zone. WBC will also be visiting CSN in Rancho High School to peacefully protest the educational material that these institutions are teaching students. A counter-protest has been organized for the same time tomorrow. Those interested can search for the Westboro LGBT Dance Party counter-protest on Facebook. A UNLV student has been selected to receive the 2017 Goldwater Scholarship. Devin Payne is a junior majoring in microbiology and is a part of the Honors College. He is one of just 240 students nationwide to win the scholarship, which offers up to $7,500 per recipient based on need. This scholarship program is highly competitive and is considered extremely prestigious among undergraduate STEM majors. Payne's application included a personal statement, letters of recommendation, and the research project he is a part of, which evaluates the state-of-the-art analytical tool that investigates microbial metabolism. He is the first UNLV student to be named a Goldwater Scholar since 2010. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas has selected a new athletic director. Desiree Reed-Francois, current Deputy Athletic Director of Virginia Tech, has signed on to a 5-year contract with UNLV. With an annual salary of $350,000, Reed-Francois' pay ranks in the top half of athletic director salaries of the Mountain West. Her contract was finalized by University President Len Jessup and General Counsel Elda Sidhu on Sunday. Reed-Francois will officially begin on June 1st of this year, ending June 30th, 2022. She will also have control of the Thomas & Mack Center in Sam Boyd Stadium. Colleagues of Reed-Francois have shared their excitement for her new title and have stated that her high level of experience will only help the future of Rebel athletics. ABC anchor John Quinones will be the next featured guest of the Barrick Lecture Series. Quinones will be at UNLV on May 8th to discuss his new book, What Would You Do? Words of Wisdom About Doing the Right Thing. The lecture will be held at the Artemis W. Ham Concert Hall. It will be free, but tickets are required for entry. Tickets are limited to 2 per person and can be picked up at the Performing Arts Center box office located off Cottage Grove Avenue. Tickets became available for faculty, staff, and students at 10 a.m. today. General public tickets become available at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Senator Harry Reid was recently announced as UNLV William S. Boyd School of Law's first Distinguished Fellow in Law and Policy. As a Distinguished Fellow, Reid will work with the law school students and alumni by lecturing and participating in classes and pursuing writing projects that draw on the resources of the Weiner Rogers Law Library. Reid will also co-chair the MGM Resorts Public Policy Institute at UNLV alongside former U.S. House Speaker John Boehner. If you party too hard this spring break, don't worry. We now have tips from experts on how to cure a hangover after a night of drinking. Here are some things you can do to lessen the effects of a hangover. Drink plenty of water and do not drink on an empty stomach. Experts say this does make the hangover worse. Stay hydrated. That is important. The U.S. National Library of Medicine recommends drinking a glass of water in between drinks. The next day, be sure to keep drinking plenty of water as alcohol can impair the body's absorption of important nutrients. Foods can also play a role in replacing these nutrients. Eat animal protein for vitamin B. Eggs and veggies like carrots replace vitamin A, and nuts and beans replace zinc. Avocados and bananas are great for potassium. You should also avoid medicines that contain acetaminophen, which can cause liver damage when mixed with alcohol. So as much as you may want to reach for that Tylenol with a splitting headache, it's best to stay away. That's all I have for your campus news. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Alyssa. UNLV's Black Mountain Institute has acquired a new literary journal. Asher Renan has the story.
Time National Magazine Award finalist has a new home at the Black Mountain Institute at UNLV. Deputy Director Kellen Braddock explains more.
The Believer is a bi-monthly magazine which is known for its reviews, interviews, and essays. It's most famous for is its lyrical nonfiction as well as its humor.
The Believer, a bi-monthly literary journal, was founded in 2003 and was purchased by BMI, leaving its former residence in San Francisco.
Up until last month, it was published by McSweeney's, which is an independent press founded by Dave Eggers back in 1998. Over time, really it started in the fall of this most recent year where we, were thinking, oh, maybe the Believer should shift to BMI, maybe it should be a co-publication effort. And then ultimately what we decided is that BMI would just fully take over operations of the magazine.
What can readers expect to find inside an issue of The Believer?
We have some recurring columns. Nick Hornby is an example. There's, I think, graphically, The Believer is really striking. There's also a lot of reviews of shows, books, publications. They even have sometimes these sweet little list series, which I'm quite a fan of. Very minimal advertising, even some very beautiful, eye-catching comics. We like to think of The Believer as the most literary of popular magazines and the most popular of literary magazines.
Braddock gives insight into the importance of having The Believer on campus.
When people go into writing as their field, creative writing, oftentimes students are left thinking, what's my future look like? Am I going to be a full-time writer? We really want to provide that experience to students. This magazine will help to build our base, our community of writers.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Ashley Renan.
The Black Mountain Institute will put out 6 issues a year beginning in August.
Coming up, we welcome this year's most anticipated baby. We'll be right back.
For Studio G, at first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing. You get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
I think we're feeling excited about the prospects. We know we're going to drop a lot of time, hopefully break a few records, and I think that the team is ready to go.
I'm pretty excited. We've done very well as a team this year, and I think coming into taper, I think we're going to do really well these next few weeks.
Sunday evening jazz. I mainly play a lot of contemporary jazz music from the 1960s up until about 2012, 2013. When I go on, just explain who it was, the name of the song, the name of the artist, maybe the name of the album, their career. I just hope that everybody enjoys it and appreciate it for the kind of music it is and how great it is. My name is Sam, and I host Sunday evening jazz on the rebelhd2.com.
April, a giraffe from the Animal Adventure Park in upstate New York, has welcomed a new member to her family Saturday morning. Animal lovers have devoted weeks to waiting for the calf to be born. The park even set up a live stream for fans to watch over April in anticipation for the birth of her 4th calf. The live stream was shut down at the end of February, leaving thousands of people furious.
Zoo plans to live stream the birth of a baby calf. The Animal Adventure Park aired its giraffe cam on YouTube for about 2 hours, but the video was stopped before the big event could take place. And the reason may surprise you.
Yeah, it's a surprise to all of us here in the newsroom. The zoo actually took to social media to apologize for the interruption and blamed animal rights extremists. According to them, YouTube suspended the live feed for nudity and sexual content. Now, Animal Adventure Park is even encouraging upset viewers to share their thoughts on social media, and thousands have done so already.
Animal Adventure Park's support from fans made the shutdown only temporary. This allowed them to live stream not only to YouTube, but also on Facebook.
Have kept up with her for weeks as she anticipated the birth of her 4th calf. After a 16-month gestation period, the wait finally ended with the calf's debut in a live stream from the zoo. The weight of the newborn is unknown, but a calf at birth is usually about 6 feet tall and weighs a whopping 100 to 150 pounds.
It is reported that about 1.25 million people tuned in to the live stream to watch April give birth to the male calf.
Thanks for watching Studio G. Be sure to follow us on social media at UNLV Studio.
I'm Jessica Vargas.
And I'm Jamie Poole. Tune in tomorrow for another episode of Studio G.